the auto mix inspired Michael Ball. It's the first time he's ever raised his hands on a yes. So that's pretty impressive.
Scare that referee. Let's talk a little football.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Press Box. I am so glad you're with us. I am here with the three wise men, Randy Young, Michael Best, Jim Rayburn.
Must be hiding under the counter somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm Austin Reams. And again, just happy to be here. Happy you could join us. Happy that we're sitting here talking about high school football, a little college football later. But let's talk about Colquitt County's big win, 37-20 over Lee County. And gentlemen, just kind of your thoughts on the game. I know Colquitt County wins these routinely, but Lee County is obviously a good opponent. Everybody talks about their running back, but Randy, your thoughts on Colquitt and this victory?
Well, we were talking about it before we started taping. Lee must have had a lot of success offensively. They ended up with over 400 yards or so, but I think it was one of those cases kind of like us with Bainbridge where Lee would hit big plays and they'd contain them and keep them out of the end zone. The Lee County running back, Usmane Kroma is his name. He is legit now. Yeah. He's legit. But Colquitt just has
Georgia's looking at him.
Oh, everybody.
Right?
I mean, he's got offers from Alabama, FSU, Georgia, I mean, you name it, Ohio State, all across the board. And the thing is, too, he's got the grades to go with it, too.
Yeah.
Very sharp kid. But Colquitt's just got too many weapons, bottom line. I mean, they're not a one-horse show, and clearly it showed.
Yeah, yeah. Any other thoughts on the game, guys? Just big win by the Packers, and glad for them to.
Well, I read that Lee outgained them like 450 to 270 or something, which is kind of unusual.
But Colquitt outscored them.
Well, that's it. I was going to say.
That's what matters.
Isn't that what matters?
That's right.
It's kind of what you go by. I don't know.
Also, offensive efficiency matters. Getting, kind of doing all that.
Well, and sometimes you bend but don't break.
That's it.
Yeah.
Was Norville there too? Did he fly in? I heard
he did.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He was there. So.
Yeah, I know. You could see. Looking at the tight end, a lot of prospects.
Oh man, yeah.
They're loaded up now.
So Nye Carr, I think he's committed to Georgia.
Yeah.
I want to understand, and the tight end again is going to committed to FSU.
Committed to FSU.
We played them in the spring, and there were about 7 major college scouts there.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Now the Packers have an open week, and then they have Cedar Grove, and that's going to be on ESPN.
Yeah,
that'll be on ESPNU coming up in 2 weeks. So we'll talk a little bit about open weeks coming up later on the show. But let's get to Cairo. Go to Tallahassee and stay alive against Gabi, 51-20. Give me your thoughts
Good choice
on
of
that.
terms there.
You like how I said that?
Don't know how.
You like how I said that?
I do. It was a staying alive. Just fight for your life right there. But it puts a whole new shadow on things right there. But it was interesting. The game was broadcast live on WTFL, the CW.
Yeah, they're doing some games.
I recorded it. It was a very good broadcast, but it took all night. I kept thinking about Larry Munson and them TV timeouts.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot. We played till nearly 11 o'clock, and it was a lot of TV timeouts, but a good game. And Cairo comes out on top and just continuing to get a little better each week. The little freshman running back, he was a big star in middle school, and we expect big things out of him. And he's growing into the position. He had a 56-yard run for a touchdown, and had a short little run for a touchdown. And Keishan Spence, who had a big game against Thomasville, he's really just exploding. He had 3 touchdowns and about 5 tackles, and had a big night as well. Quarterback is getting better and better each week. Jadarick G. Simmons and Maury Powell had some catches. And Drew Owen, who played football and then quit for baseball and then came back to football this year. Earlier in the game, I said, he's a good possession receiver. He's not going to run away from anybody. He'll make a catch and get you a first down. He breaks one for about 70 yards.
Yeah.
And, of course, he got run down at about the 2-yard line. And he and I talked about that a little later, getting in that next gear. But he got us down to the 2. So a good game overall. Our kicker got a field goal, and he also revealed that he can kick right-footed or left-footed. Just tell him which one you want. And so he kind of alternated a little bit, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, okay.
And then little Eli Jones, whose brother Noah is the backup punter for Georgia. Eli is a freshman. He got to kick 2 extra points and kick off a couple times.
That's cool.
That was fun, and we got to play some other folks in the game. And
good to get your young bucks into the game. That's very important for your development, morale.
It was hot and muggy.
Yeah.
It was a very muggy night, but It was a good.
How was the ambience there?
It was,
there
you
in
know,
College?
very.
Ambiance.
and
You kind of said that.
I kept thinking about what was that movie that they played in the penitentiary with the not Hard Knocks. What was that movie called? The Longest Yard.
Longest
I
Yard,
kept
yeah.
thinking because there were so many policemen there everywhere, and of course they kept everybody safe and it was good, but it was just a very different atmosphere.
Yeah.
When you go to Columbus or Albany or
Yeah.
Tallahassee, it's different.
Yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
just is. They try to keep you safe because there's a lot going on.
And we appreciate that,
And
right?
we do.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, very much. But it's just a different. You got to feel like you got to count for everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Can I go to the bathroom? I mean, it's like, and
Hall pass and all
you know,
that.
and the visitor press box is a cage. You were in it.
Yeah, open
you know,
air
and
thing.
WCTV had a picture of us up there broadcasting. My daughter sent me a text from Philadelphia. Said, "Did they put y'all in a cage?"
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
"Yeah, but they threw us treats." in the
Yeah,
third
yeah,
quarter."
yeah.
So,
Peanuts.
we were okay after that, but it was a big win, and now we play Pelham, and Pelham is another. That's a long-time rival that a lot of people. We started playing them in about the 20s, 21,
Okay.
22, somewhere in there.
Pelham's 2-2, so
And,
yeah.
gave us a real scare last year. We beat them, but it wasn't a blowout, that everybody expected. And they run that split veer, and they've got a good quarterback. He's already, he's been offered by I think Air Force and Army. So he's a good little quarterback, and they've got some folks back. So it'll be a good game. It's at home, and so we'll play at home for the next 4 weeks. So that'll be
All right,
good.
that'll be fun. So speaking of Pelham, the Hornets lost to Wilcox 43-21. And moving on, let's go to the Thomasville High School. They got beat by Bainbridge, another Cairo rival, Bainbridge. And they got
Yes,
beat by
sir.
Bainbridge 46-28. And
Our Bulldogs came close.
Bainbridge is our second team that we played the most, and we have not played them much lately.
yeah, Bainbridge and Valdosta, right?
Bainbridge,
Isn't that-
Valdosta, Cairo,
Yeah,
and Albany was in there, but Albany's fell off. They're no longer in existence.
yeah. So, really, the fourth quarter, obviously, you don't like. But to me, what I like about this game is the offense got going.
Well, the offense got going. Cam was able to make some good throws, and then Levante Cole had a big 65-yard touchdown run and a 71-yard kickoff return that set us up a couple of scores. And we were productive on offense. The defense played well. First half, they didn't have their starting quarterback in, and when he came in the second half, the second series of the second half, that big offensive line had already beat our defense down. So we were a lot slower, and he looked like he was in a jetpack. And
Yeah.
So they came back and beat us. We had some opportunities. The thing I like, we started a freshman on the offensive line. The offensive line showed a lot better movement, and so improvement. And that's
Yeah.
what we got. We've only played one school that's close in size with us, and that's Brooks, and we're bigger than them.
Yeah.
We played Central, Cairo, Bainbridge. Now we go to Tift, and so we haven't played anybody
Yeah.
our size yet. We'll get into that in a couple of weeks, but
And typically that pays off for
this
the Dogs.
pays off.
Yeah.
It made us stronger last year. We got the same record. Of course, we beat Brooks this year. We didn't beat them last year. We beat Cairo, and then we beat Tifton. So if we beat Tifton, we'll come out 2-3 going into region play, and
That's where you want to
that's
be.
where you want to be. Well, you want to get to region play and be healthy.
you
And
go.
we're starting to get healthy. Jay Randall has been nursing a hamstring. He got to play more Friday night. He's playing a lot on defense, but he played a lot at running back. He'll play a lot more this week as he gets better. But you got to have him in that defensive secondary because he knows what he's doing, and he'll hit you, and he'll help get some of the young kids lined up. I know A.J. Hill, the quarterback's brother, a freshman, is the other safety, and he had a big night Friday night. So
Yeah.
he's learning the ropes a little bit. And not Michael, that's his daddy, Joe Douglas,
Yeah.
the middle linebacker, he's led our team in tackles every game. I think he had 10 or 11 Friday night, and he's a sophomore, and he's a big kid. If he continues to grow,
Yeah.
people gonna look at him because he'll light you up.
His daddy was a cert maker.
Yeah.
Throwing that out there.
And
That's why I don't get along with him.
I'm telling you too.
yeah.
Oh man!
But I do think experience, especially in high school football, if you have a senior offensive lineman that knows what they're doing, man, they can just own a very talented young sophomore
We have two
guy.
seniors. We have two seniors on the offensive line,
Yeah.
but they've always been backups.
Yep. Yeah.
And
You can also see in the secondary taking angles and all that kind of stuff. So
Well, you got
Um,
sophomore, freshman and senior in the secondary.
Yeah. So, but it sounds like they're getting that in-game experience.
We took over K-Ro's spot.
That's right.
We're
You're officially
young,
the young
very
team.
young.
We need to have a name for this, right? That kind of a crown you can wear every year of the youngest team in the area.
Very proud.
Something like that.
Proud of our Bulldogs.
That's right.
I was pulling for them.
All right, on to a couple of different scores here. So Brookwood was defeated by Stratford 45-26, and they're open. And then after that, they play John Millage. We'll get to more on the John Millage game next week. And also, speaking of open, Thomas County Central, you guys hopefully didn't get any injuries. You're open. And then you got Brooks County this week heading over to the Rat Palace, which I think is good that you're not traveling. A lot of these teams in South Georgia are kind of playing each other. You're not traveling up to, some crazy location.
Or going down to Florida. Which
going down to Florida.
Done that too.
And Tallahassee's not a bad travel. But anyway, so thoughts on the open week and what you're working on and getting ready for your Rumble at the Rat Palace.
Not the Rumble at the Rat Palace. That's
how
got
you
a
like
little
that
ring
one?
to it.
Yeah,
That's good. Well, we've talked about this on the show before. There are good off weeks. There are bad off weeks. I mean, I think if you've got a team that's beat up and needing a chance to heal up a little bit, an off week can be really good. But if you got a lot of momentum and you feel like you're playing pretty well, you don't want to take a break. And I think we're kind of somewhere in between the two. The thing people take for granted, when you've got 3 rivalry games like we've had and a lot of us have played, that takes an emotional toll, not just physical. And that is hard to get your guys up and fired up, and that emotional investment that comes with those rivalry games. So I think our guys, the opportunity to kind of turn that off and exhale a little bit and step back and look at the things that they know they need to improve on, even though they've started the season really well, there are areas that we need to improve on and hopefully be able to identify those things and work on them and get better. And that's what you hope. And Brooks County, they're not afraid of anybody. I mean, I looked it up the other day. The last time Central beat Brooks County in Quitman, 1973.
Goodness.
Been a while.
Yeah,
of course, we haven't played a lot.
Yeah.
We haven't played a lot. So this is an opportunity for our guys, hopefully, just to keep taking steps and getting better as we start winding down toward the region play ourselves.
Yeah. And that's a good atmosphere over there, I think.
It is.
Kind of get you, kind of that competitive.
It is.
The Rumble in the Rat Palace.
That's
Rumble in the
right.
Rat
So,
Palace. T-shirt.
well, just real quick, Michael Best, open weeks. We got 2 of them now on the schedule for GHSA, and I know you're real connected to GHSA
Like
hierarchy.
this.
What are your thoughts on the 2 open weeks? Do you like it, not like it?
Just what he said. If you're rolling, you kind of want to keep rolling. But if you're banged up and it's kind of, in that stretch where you just need a break or need some, especially if you're about to play a big rival or a big game that means a lot, maybe it's nice to have an open week right before you do that. But on the other hand, if you're rolling along, you're getting better each week, and all of a sudden you got to take a week off. It's a little, because you hate to get kids out of a rhythm.
Yeah.
And,
A routine matters.
I remember back in 1990, we were rolling and had an open date, and we had some boys, some starters. He practiced on a Friday. Ralph Jones had them practice on a Friday, and they skipped out, and like nobody would notice. And the next week he had them sitting in the stands.
Yeah.
Didn't let them play. They had to sit right on the front row where everybody could see where they were sitting. And so that kind of stuff breaks it. You don't like doing that. But.
Yeah. But do you think the 2 open weeks is a good thing in general? Kind of rest these young men a little bit.
It can be.
I do.
Yeah.
With our opening schedule,
Yeah.
we need an open week next week after playing Brooks, Central, Cairo,
And then TIF,
Bainbridge, and then TIF. And that's a rough gauntlet for anybody to go through.
But not just physical either.
Right. It's mental because you got our kids. The Brooks game is a big rivalry game with them because of region foes. We've been battling for region championships with them for the last so long, and hopefully we'll get back to that. But then you got Central, and then you got Cairo, and Bainbridge is so-so.
Yeah.
Tifton's not a rival game, but they're a bigger school, and so anyway, it'll be our first real road trip of the year. It'll get us prepared for those 2 long trips to Columbus.
The only thing about the 2 open weeks is it just extends the season. That's the only thing negative that comes to mind. And I want to ask Jim, Central versus Brooks, I mean, you've seen both teams.
No, y'all won't have no trouble.
We'll be okay? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your
all
word
right.
for it.
All right, you heard it here.
They're
Like
young.
they're
They're
gonna have,
young.
like they're gonna have trouble. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Like
Yeah.
a 6A school's gonna have trouble with a
Yeah.
7A school.
Yeah.
We're a
Well,
4A school.
until y'all
We're a
play,
6A school.
until y'all play the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But I do think, extending the season and, also just kind of that last week right before the playoffs when a lot of teams have off, which is smart.
That
it
has helped
helps.
us the last few years.
Yeah, that's a
Open
smart
week
move.
before
It's
the
not
playoffs.
Yeah, it's a little bit kind of a momentum buster as a fan. But again, I think the health of these players is the main thing. So if that works, that's fine. So a couple more scores, and we got Mitchell County lost to Brooks.
and that
so,
was Brooks' first victory of the season.
They hadn't played many games now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
They-
got shut out by Wayne County 14-0, lost to y'all.
Right.
And then the game they were supposed to play, I think, with Cook,
With
got
Cook, the
postponed.
hurricane
Hurricane.
postponed it because of the damage of the Rat Palace.
Yeah.
And so
Rumble at the Rat House and
Damage at the Rat Palace.
Yeah.
You didn't have that.
So anyway, Brooks lost that game 49, or Brooks won that game to beat Mitchell County Eagles
Mitchell
49.
County's struggling.
Just
They're-
kinda struggling
they're
this year.
down this year a little bit.
Let me throw this out real quick. You talk about player safety. A lot of folks have been talking about Lee County's coach getting thrown out of that Colquitt game.
Yeah.
Apparently, and Jim probably knows this, and I know Michael does too, the targeting rules have changed a little bit this
Yeah,
year. If a
okay.
player hits somebody and doesn't wrap up, that can be called targeting. You've got
wow.
to show an effort to try to make a tackle instead of just knocking somebody.
Okay.
And apparently some of those were called that the
Yeah.
Lee County coach did not agree with. But
And got
that's
through.
something for the fans to kind of
Yeah.
keep an eye out for, because that makes a huge difference. You just can't just run into somebody.
Yeah.
You got to make an attempt to tackle them.
I kind of like that
I
rule.
do too.
I do it because it's easily enforceable.
Yep.
Like, sometimes you can tell a player, especially in college and pros, but you can tell a player is trying not to hit the guy in the head or neck, and like his
Yep.
face mask barely brushes it and he gets thrown out of the game.
Yep.
But
That's
if
a little ridiculous.
In the college game, have you noticed they're overturning more of that?
Yep.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
not
They
as
are.
Yep.
used to it was automatic.
Yeah.
Now they're looking at
Trying
it
to
a
be
little
smart.
I'm
closer.
gonna tell y'all this: if Mike Gammons comes in here again this year
No,
with that flag, I'm taking it, and putting it in my pocket.
And walking
All right.
out with
I
it.
dare him to say
He'll
something.
throw you out.
But it's worth noting that
Yeah,
that's a rule change that.
Just
you've
nobody
s-
tell him.
Everybody we've all seen these guys that just run into people.
launch into
and
people,
it's
yeah.
almost like you just try to just bowl him over instead of tackling. This this actually protects the tackler more than it
Yeah.
protects the guy that's being tackled. So anyway, for what it's worth.
Yep. Good call there. And we're going to be back with the college edition of the Press Box. And welcome back. I'm so glad you're sticking with us. Let's talk, we're here at the Press Box. Let's talk a little college football, always fun. Number 1, Georgia. Got South Carolina coming into town. Number 3, FSU. Heading up to Boston College. Good team. Both these teams are kind of favored to win, but that doesn't mean anything. Historically, both FSU and Georgia have not played good against these opponents that they're playing this week. That being said,
Georgia's at home though, so
yeah, Georgia's at home.
helps.
And by the way, Georgia fans, relax. You are going to destroy them. We'll talk about why in a minute. But that's in the yes/no. That's in the yes/no. We'll get to that. But what do you want to see from FSU? What do you want to see from Georgia that tells you they're focused in on performance? Obviously, we know about score. Obviously, that's always the Michael Best answer. But what's another thing that'll tell us, are they performing at a high level? Are they focused in?
you said it, focus. You got to, in a game like this where FSU is highly favored, they got to stay focused, because if you take it lackadaisical, you may get in trouble at Boston College, and then you get hurt. But anyway, I want to see the defense get better and totally dominate a team, and because the offense is playing well anyway. But
Yeah. So you're
to
saying
win the
maybe
championship,
defense?
to win a championship, the defense has got to get better and better.
FSU's got to handle success.
You're right.
Yep, that's different. I would say, and this got pointed out on the Nolecast podcast, so I can't take credit for this, but FSU's run game early hasn't been great.
Right.
And so I think credit to Bud Elliott for that. I think that's a good metric. Is like, okay, are we fixing? Everybody's looking. Everybody knows our counter game. Are we addressing that now, first quarter?
But maybe the reason it gets better is because that offensive line wears them
Yeah,
down.
that could be. That could be.
A good running team doesn't always start off strong.
Yeah,
Get
and
better as the
if
game
they
goes.
know what you're going to do, it's hard to run on somebody. So that.
Well, I think what you guys are talking about, and Michael will agree with me here, that for Georgia, they've got to get some consistency with their run game. That has just been gone. I mean, there's been
And
nothing.
the running back room, that's
Yeah,
the
banged
new
up.
Yeah, they got
term,
to.
is depleted.
Yep.
You know, and I mean Georgia. You got all these new Georgia fans that don't understand the fact that Kirby ain't gonna go out there and hit 70 on somebody and open up playbook. He showed us last year, the year before.
Other than TCU, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he plays
yeah.
to win.
Yep.
And you know, McConkey hadn't played. Bowers played a couple of plays.
Yeah. Bubble wrap him, by the way.
know,
yeah, I
and-
wouldn't.
You know, Georgia, he does what he has to do to win.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, there's fans already that are, you know, oh, there's just no way we're going to, you know, just give it a chance. Let's just.
Well,
Y'all
Yeah.
got new fans? I thought everybody was a Georgia fan. How do y'all get new fans?
Yeah.
My
added a
gosh, all these
few.
bandwagoners.
Yeah.
But here's the
You
thing:
know.
when you think about Georgia right now, you look at those running backs and you look at what the offensive line. Everybody says, well, doggone, against these teams that they've been playing, they should have just been running up and down the field. Sometimes I think Kirby makes things purposefully tough
Yeah.
in some of these games
Yeah.
as a training exercise for things to come. Now, with this SEC opener, I think they'll open things up a little
I
bit.
think you'll see more.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I do. I mean, last year, Kent State, you know, everybody was, what's wrong with Georgia? We
Yeah.
barely got by Kent State.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sanford, you know, that kind of stuff. And I think he, like you say,
Yeah.
I think he creates situations.
Which
so
is
he
actually
can-
brilliant
It-
coaching.
So he
Smart.
can get
Yeah.
him in there next
Why?
week. And,
Yeah.
you
Why
know.
open up the whole playbook or show your hand? Or
You don't have to.
You know, if you can win kind of in a conservative way,
Yep.
do it.
Well, Dejon
So-
Edwards will be back this week, who has not played to this
Yeah.
point from Moultrie. I think the Dylan Bell experiment back there in the backfield looked really good. He brings something to the table that they hadn't had, which is that real quick burst. Andrew Paul, who had a knee injury last year, played in the first game, didn't play in this past one because he had some soreness in that knee, but I hear he's good to go. And
What's the little guy, the Mechik? No, that's not his name. Somebody else had that name.
Muse.
Muse.
Man alive, that little
He-
guy.
Yeah, he's a little quick guy.
Yeah.
And I worried about Brock. You know, Brock was off his game. He didn't play but a couple of plays, but I've never seen him drop a ball.
Yeah.
And he dropped two.
Well, that goes the Heisman Trophy right there.
He's out.
So,
He's
yeah,
out.
done.
He's done. You know.
I would love to see a tight end win the Heisman Trophy.
That
by
would
the
be
way.
cool.
That would be so
It'll
awesome.
never happen, but
I
it'd
know.
be cool.
I know.
But that's for me. That's the thing with Georgia. Just some consistency on the line and with that running game. That's all I want to see.
For Florida State, playing noon at Boston College, that is a focus issue. You know, you've had a crazy crowd at the FSU-LSU game and then the home opener for Southern Miss. So now you're going to kind of go, and it's the crowd's not going to be as into it. And it's going to be hard to kind of get amped up and focused. So that would be a very good
Just
good test.
handle the
Yep.
success. Handle the success. Bottom line.
All right. So speaking of not handling success, how about the SEC guys? You know, it's still the best football conference. I still don't like it, but as a certified SEC hater, I'm enjoying the pain.
I'm fixing to have to be an SEC fan on parts of it.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
Texas
Texas is going in. But right now they're Big 12, and they took care of
See,
business
Jim's
against
got all
Alabama.
those voodoo dolls at his house of
Put
Bama and
those
Georgia,
things
and
away.
he's
Yeah.
sitting here poking them and prodding them. I mean, that's part of the problem.
But Texas, you want to know what? Texas is becoming an SEC school, so they're prepared. They
Yeah.
got a big defensive front, big
offensive
line,
front, yep.
and they're preparing for that. And they almost beat Alabama last year before
Yeah.
you got hurt, and this year the defense controlled the game more.
Yep.
So
No Bryce Young.
Texas is becoming
Yeah, and Bryce Young is good at football. Yeah,
But
yeah.
Texas is becoming an SEC school. They know they're preparing for those battles to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, David. You look at their NIL. They really those offensive linemen, which is if you can block, you can do anything. So.
Well, you've got an issue. You say what's wrong with the SEC. We've talked about the transfer portal. You've
Yeah.
got so many of these schools that have got these 4- and 5-star guys stacked.
yeah,
Those guys are just not going to sit there.
yeah,
If they've got an opportunity to go to Oklahoma, go to Texas, go to Southern Cal, go to
Yeah.
Wisconsin or wherever, and they are going to be
They're
the
gonna
star
start.
and play,
Yeah.
they're going to go.
Yeah, we appreciate A.D. Mitchell.
There you
coming
go.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was gonna say,
to
well, I
Texas.
mean, yeah. Anyway,
and then quarterbacks, right?
Yep.
You have a year of you had a lot of experienced quarterbacks last year, and not as experienced this year. They will be good, but you look at the Pac-12 and really the ACC too. Some good quarterbacks, and that makes everything go. If you got a good quarterback, a lot of good things are happening. So.
Coach Prime brought up
Yeah.
Yeah, and which I never
Then it's
thought
gotta
of it
be
this
right.
way. It's
Yeah.
got to be right. He said it's not so much the NIL, it's collectives.
Yeah.
And he said because you got a kid coming out of some little town in high school, you know, ain't nobody gonna know who he is or what
Yeah.
he does. Nobody's
Yeah.
gonna pay him $1 million to try to sell a shoe because nobody
Yeah,
knows who he is.
Yeah.
But those collectives are what they're putting that money, pulling that money together, and getting these kids. They're not their face, their name, image, or likeness isn't anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just stealing them to get them to come.
Well, we've talked, something somewhere's got to be put in place, because what you're going to have is you're going to have high school kids with all that stuff lined up behind them. They'll opt out of their senior year. They
Yeah.
won't play because they want to protect themselves and stay
Yeah.
healthy. It's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming. Anyway.
And you already see it at the college level. But, you know, speaking of another thing coming is yes, no.
Here
So
we
Here we go.
I got to get me a drink. Hey, by the
So,
way, Jim, kind of like Saban, he's sponsored by Aquafina. I've got
Yeah.
great value over here. I
That's
just
right.
wanted to make-
Okay,
I'm
just point that
Aquafina.
out.
Yeah, I'm
There
saying
we
there's
go.
a
So there
difference
we
here.
go.
There's a
We
little
got
bit of a
we got a
difference.
name brand.
There's
and-
the city
and-
brand. Here's the county.
Yeah,
Great value.
there we go.
Just saying.
All right,
I
let's.
got a pen.
That's right.
I'm ready.
All right, Michael Best, you're ready. How about this? I think you said this first anyway. So Miami's back. Yes, no.
Miami is back. Yes.
They're back. Randy, after that big win over Texas A&M.
That you just said it. No, I'm saying no.
You're saying no?
Because it's Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm saying no. Jimbo's lost it.
Yeah, maybe more of
It
what
may be-
Jimbo.
Right.
He is a fantastic coach when he has a generational quarterback.
Yes, yes.
Any
He
of us
wears
would be
out
too.
his welcome with his kids pretty quick.
Speaking of, Randy, Jimbo is still calling plays for A&M.
No.
You say no? All right. Michael?
I think he is. He's just letting somebody else do his work.
Yeah, so he's calling the plays.
He's the final say, is what you're
That's
saying.
what I
Yeah, something like that. All right.
Mo-
The
most-
offense looked very familiar against Miami.
Most head coaches have a say in it.
That's
but
true.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
but I'm
I
saying
hadn't watched him
calling.
enough to see if he's calling
Yeah.
plays like he did at FSU.
Yeah. All right. So I say that he is. I say yes, but
I say
you know,
no.
I don't think A&M is bad, and that's an interesting call about Miami. Is Miami have the depth, but that was a very impressive win by Miami, and
Texas A&M cannot get
Has a
anything out
mess.
of their quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And their defense is atrocious.
all right, Jim, this one's for you. Bama will be in the playoffs. Yes, no.
I think they'll be in the SEC championship, and then it depends
Depends.
if they beat Georgia there.
Okay, all right.
I say no.
You say no, Michael Best.
A 5-5 Bama will be in the playoffs. They'll start with Bama. They'll say Bama, now who else? Who's the other three?
Yeah. What do you say,
No,
Randy?
they won't.
You say no.
I say no. They got some problems.
All right. Randy, I'll stick with you. Georgia will have 6 or more sacks this week. They play
Yes.
a very
Yes.
horrible offensive line.
North
So
Carolina had 9, so I think Georgia can get 6.
Yeah. Should I set it at 9?
No, 6,
Okay,
6 is
a
fair.
good one.
I'll take that.
I'm going to say yes, but I'm also going to say South Carolina's going to come in and play way above their head.
Yeah, Spencer
I agree.
Rattler has a good game.
Yep, I agree.
They'll probably try to game plan around their, quick throws or something like that. So 6 sacks for the Dogs against a very
Like
bad
I
offensive.
care. Like I care.
You
Yes.
just pretend.
Say yes.
No, I do not pretend.
Definite maybe.
All right.
Spencer Rattler should have gone to FAMU. That would have just been perfect.
That would have been
would've
perfect.
Just
that would've been
perfect.
Perfect.
Anyway,
All right, Randy, last one here. Tennessee is going to have problems in the swamp.
I think so.
Yeah, you think,
think
so?
so.
I think that's
Yeah.
going to be a close game.
Yeah, I do too.
Michael Best. And I'm not saying who's going to win.
Now, Tennessee
just probably.
struggled last week
Yeah,
with
that's-
Austin P.
They were looking
that's
ahead.
what I heard.
They were looking ahead.
You think so?
So, and I tell you what, the Gators did this to Florida State, where they lost to Vanderbilt and played a great game against Florida State. Like, what do you think? You think Tennessee's going to have problems?
No.
You say no. I say yes.
I think they'll have problems, but they'll come out on top. They always have
Yeah.
problems with Florida.
Yeah. I mean, I think Tennessee's going to win this game. The spread that I've seen is 6.5. I think it's going to be,
That's not.
yeah,
too
that's a
far
good
off.
one.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a close game, maybe even closer than that. But Tennessee wins. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy.
Hook 'em horns.
That's right. Here we go. Hope you guys enjoy a week of high school football, college football. Get out there, appreciate, enjoy what's good. That includes band, cheerleaders, football players, and even radio announcers.
Amen.